Your Excellencies, honorable speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce myself? My name is Dr. Laksana Isangsekshai from Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. I will be serving as the MC for today. And on behalf of the host, I am honored to welcome all of you to the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Thailand and Sri Lanka. And this program is co-hosted by the Embassy of Sri Lanka and South Asian Studies Center's Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. First of all, I would like to request you all to stand in honor of National Anthem of Thailand and Sri Lanka. Thank you. For opening the program, I would like to invite Your Excellencies, honorable speakers, distinguished guests in front of the stage for lighting the traditional oil lamp. I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Itthiphol, Minister of Culture of Thailand. And I also would like to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Samantha K. Jayasuriya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand and Laos. I also would like to invite Mr. Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, other of Sri Lanka, Charika, Kavya. I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Chewang Chopel.G, Ambassador of Bhutan to Sri Lanka. I also would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Ponte Warashat, former Thai Ambassador to Sri Lanka. I also would like to invite Mr. WithInstitute, Consular, South Asia and Central Asia Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Thailand. I would like to invite Mr. Sitha Munhom, Inspector General, National Office of Police. I also would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Nuatnoy Thirirat from Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. I also would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Jirayut Singhan, Institute of Asian Studies. I also would like to invite Mr. Vipul Kamanto, Vice President of Thai Travel Agents Association, and Mr. Prisha Jampi from Thai Travel Agents Association. would like to invite Mr. Ajarn, President of Thai Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce. May I invite Mr. Sanchiva Idri Vikramasuriya, President of Sri Lanka Association in Thailand. And last, may I invite KhunplomeMinister, representing editorial team of Sri Lanka, Charika. Thank you very much, and shall we have a further session before you go to the seat? Thank you very much. And on this occasion, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Jirayu Itthiphol, Director of South Asian Studies Center, Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University, to deliver a welcome speech.
Excellencies, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University, Itthiphol and Charika, we would like to welcome you to the 65th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between Thailand and Sri Lanka. The relationship between Thailand and Sri Lanka has gone back so many years, and it is our responsibilities to forge that relationship into the future. So on this occasion, we are delighted to host a book launch by Kritayanavaj, whose work has forged a new way of establishing people-to-people relationships between Thailand and Sri Lanka. And we decided to use this room 105, Mahachulalong building. Not because only it is the oldest building in Chulalongkorn University, but it is also housed foreign guests, especially Kritayanavaj, who arrived here in 1970s. And as we all know, that his ideas is that cultures of all nations in the world are not in conflict, but we are living in the areas that is a confluence of cultures. So, again, on behalf of Chulalongkorn University, we would like to welcome you to this esteemed event, and I hope that this event will provide us all with new inspirations to forge a new relationship not only between Thailand and Sri Lanka, but also with any other countries in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Itthiphol, for a meaningful speech in the beginning of this program. And next, I proudly present you a short video presentation on Thai-Sri Lanka religious cultural relations. It will take like 10 minutes.
Reflections of true friendship. A visual narrative of two nations and one family. Theravada Buddhist teachings and practices is the silver thread connecting our two nations for over 8 centuries and flourished with 65 years of formal diplomatic relations to date. During the 13th century, the Parakramabahu the Great of Sri Lanka extended his royal patronage towards spreading trade and religious ties with Swarnabhumi. The Sri Lankan monastic tradition Lanka, rooted in Siam under the patronage of Siamese kings, bell-shaped white-colored jetties like Mahatal Chetty in Nakhon Si Thammarat and later in Sukhothai Kingdom got established. Saplings of Chaisrima Bodhi, many relics, copies of Tripitaka inscribed in Sri Lanka for the first time, were gifted to Siam Kingdom. The sacred crossing Buddha image is also among them. In the dark shadows of oppressive colonial rule, the Buddhist monastic tradition came under severe threat. Thanks to the Kalyanamitra approach of Siamese king in Ayodhya, Venerable Pra Ubaruperu undertook a voyage to Sri Lanka. The higher ordination was re-established, marking the beginning of the Siam chapter in Sri Lanka in the year 1753. Following 268 years from now, the traditions remain alive and robust. Setting a tradition of highest level of contacts, His Majesty King Rama V visited Sri Lanka in the year 1897 and then again in 1907. A number of other royal visits followed thereafter, highlighting the close bonds between the two countries. In the year 1950, the King Bhumibol Adulyadej visited Sri Lanka just prior to royal wedding and the official coronation. His Majesty King Rama X, as the Crown Prince in 1993, visited Sri Lanka and travelled to Galle, Anuradhapura and Kandy. In 2013, Her Royal Highness Princess Sirito undertook a 4-day visit on invitation of the President of Sri Lanka and attended the celebration of 200 116th anniversary of establishment of Siam chapter in Sri Lanka. The Siamese ambassador, Prince Prisdam, who took the robes in Sri Lanka in year 1886, brought in a strong connection between Thailand's contribution for the revival of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. The most recent visit of His Excellency the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha demonstrates the close link at political level between Thailand and Sri Lanka. We keep celebrating our shared cultures, including Vishaka Puja or Vesak, with vibrant time of venerating Lord Buddha. The Songkran or the Sinhala Tamil New Year, the values we cherish makes us one family. We feel comfortable in our extended family network. Caring for and sharing with elders is natural to us. Rice-based society, crafts, dances, spirituality, history, fashion, culture, tradition, festivals, entertainment, martial arts, the way we celebrate life, there's something in common. Not to miss, our food habits also has a lot of common flavors and processes. The age-old traditional healing. The list is too long. From the land of smiles to the pearl of Indian Ocean, we embrace in friendship. It's true when it comes from hearts, when it is sincere and hospitable, for a prosperous and peaceful future together. Itthiphol, Sawadika.
And today, it is our honor to have a message by His Excellency Mahindra Rajapaksa, the Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs of Sri Lanka. And in this regard, may I invite Her Excellency Mrs. Samantha K. Jayasuriya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand, to read the message of Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka to the audience. And the translation in Thai already, I think that you already received.
Swadika. Good evening. His Excellency Mr. Itthiphol KhunplomeMinister, Honorable Minister of Culture of Thailand, Associate Professor Dr. Nanloin, and the Associate Professor Kirayu of the Institute of Asian Studies of Chulalongkorn University and staff, Mr. Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, the author of Sri Lanka Charika, Kavya, and the editorial team, representatives from the Foreign Ministry of Thailand, and my dear colleagues, ambassadors, and excellencies, all distinguished invitees and friends. I am pleased to read the message of His Excellency Mr. Mahindra Rajapaksa, the Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka and the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs of Sri Lanka, to celebrate this occasion. And I quote, "It is with great pleasure that I send this message to celebrate an important milestone of friendly relations between Sri Lanka and Thailand. On 20th November 2020, we marked 65 years of establishing formal diplomatic relations between our two countries. The historic, cultural, and religious ties, however, date back 8 centuries. During the same period that Arahat Mahinda, the son of great Emperor Ashoka, came to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BCE, the most venerable monks, Sona and Uttara, came to the land of Swarnabhumi, marking the advent of Buddhism to both Sri Lanka and Thailand. However, historic records vouch that the present-day Theravada Buddhist teachings, monastic traditions, and practice in Thailand got firmly indoctrinated through exchange of monks with Sri Lanka. They established the Lanka or Lanka Vamsa in Thailand. Then later, in the 16th century, when Sri Lanka was under the colonial occupation, the Uposat or Upasampada karma in the country was disrupted. It was due to the visit of Venerable Pra Upali Thero of Ayodhya in Siam that the higher ordination and monastic order was reinstated in Sri Lanka in 1753. To this date, the Sri Lankan monks in this lineage are called Siam Vansa. This was in fact a true example of a Kalyana Mitra relation. The poetic presentation in the book Sri Lanka Charika Kavya that is launched today to mark this important anniversary deserves our commendation for several reasons. First, it presents to the Thai public a fitting narrative of this centuries-old historic lineage between our two countries. I congratulate the author, Mr. Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, and his team for their hard work for nearly 2 years. Undoubtedly, it has resulted in a good reference that can help anyone learning about the roots of Theravada Buddhist traditions between our two countries. Second, it brings into life a very traditional form of Thai poetic literature. The Niras poems draw an interesting parallel to the Sri Lankan traditional poetic literature called Sandesha Kavya. The author's journey through landscapes, towns, and villages along the Buddhist trails in Sri Lanka provides a vivid description of historic places. Similarly, in the Sinhala Sandesha Kavya, the authors give to the messenger, in most cases to a bird, an eloquent description of the beauty of the places and what it will come across on its way to the final destination. Given the strong Sanskrit and Pali roots, I believe both Sinhala and Thai languages can draw many parallels of the richness in respective languages. Both our countries share a deeply entrenched family-based culture and a social fabric woven with Theravada Buddhist practices and way of life. A life filled with compassion, loving kindness, empathetic joy, and equanimity. In troubled and challenges times like what we are experiencing today, I believe these timeless teachings give us strength to look for collective solutions. It helps us to care for each other, work in tandem, and to be resilient. Built on this kind of a robust foundation, I am confident our relations will flourish further in the years to come, bringing mutual benefits to all our peoples. I wish all of you happiness, joy, health, and prosperity. May the noble triple gem bless you all. Mahinda Rajapaksa, Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. End of quote. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And next, it is our honor again, may I honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Itthiphol, Minister of Culture of Thailand, to address the audience.
Excellencies, this is Samantha K. Surya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand, Director General of Asian Studies Institute, Chulalongkorn University, Ambassador, Diplomatic Relations representative from the embassy, professors, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ayubowan, Sawadee. I myself, as a representative from the Thai government, especially in the part of religious and culture, I would like to take this honor and opportunity to join such a special event that we celebrate the 65th anniversary of our diplomatic relationships between Thailand and Sri Lanka. As you have seen from the video presentations, our relationships from the history record is long time, more than 700 years ago, since the period of Sukhothai, Ayutthaya, Thonburi to Rattanakosin as a present time. We already exchanged our way of life, traditions, religions, and especially for the diplomatic relationships between Thailand and Sri Lanka. At the present day, our two countries also have many kind of activity to cooperation between people to people, especially in Thailand. We also have Sri Lankan associations in Thailand. And I myself, last 2 years, have been visit to Ballobh, Sri Lanka to join a conference, have some opportunity to visit the significant temple in Ballobh like Asokaram temple and so many places in Ballobh. And especially for the Thai people that most we are Buddhism, we really aware that Sri Lanka is one of the destinations once in a lifetime to visit, not only to the Kyoto temple or the Kandy province. We both countries we have a relationship, especially in terms of the Buddhism religious. We have shared so many good spirit, good many ceremony, especially our traditional among us. In terms of the book of the poem written by Professor Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, it surprised me with how he creative is to visualize beautiful places of culture, villages, and natural beauty in Sri Lanka into Nira poem. The similarities of composition between Thai Nira poem and the Sri Lankan Chihalas Sadesha Kavas eloquently presented is clear evidence of the heartly cultural exchange between Thailand and Sri Lanka. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate to Your Excellency Ambassador, to Sri Lankan's honorable guests, and to all of you here with the celebration for our 65th anniversary of diplomatic relationships. And we hope both countries, not only for this activity, we can keep continuing our relationship in the various kind of activities among us, and we will success each other with the prosperities, with all of the good things to our both countries, Thailand and Sri Lanka. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And may I request you to remain on this regard? I would like to invite the other Mr. Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, the author of Sri Lanka, Charika, Kavya, to offer the book to the minister. also would like to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Samantha K. Jayasuriya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand, on the stage. May I invite Associate Professor Dr. Nanoy Trirat, Director of Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. May I invite Ambassador His Excellency Mr. Chewa Chokpel Goraji, Ambassador from the Bhutan Embassy. May I invite His Excellency Mr. Oak Sorapon, Ambassador from the Embassy of Cambodia. May I invite His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Jinnah, Ambassador from the Republic of Maldives. Next, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Ganesh Prasad Lata, Embassy from Nepal, Ambassador from Nepal. And shall we have a group photo session once again, please? And in this regard, may I invite editorial board of Charika Kavya, this book. May I invite Mrs. Chudati Kritayanavaj, Mr. Porte Sinarila, His Excellency Charivat Santapur, Mrs. Somnip Yapakadayas, and Mr. Amin Srimanna for the photo session as well. To join us on the stage, please. Thank you very much. And next, may I invite His Excellency Dr. Charivat Santapur on stage, please. Thank you very much. And for the next session, I would like to request Mr. Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, to distribute the book to all of distinguished guests, maybe in the first pre-roll, and our participants will receive the book as well. and our staff will distribute the books from the back side. And because today we have lots of distinguished guests and audience, maybe you have a group photos from the main hall and our photographer will be on the stage. It will be easy to cover everyone. Thank you very much. May I request photographers ขอเชิญช่างถ่ายภาพบนเวทีนะคะแล้วเดี๋ยวเราจะถ่ายรูปลงไปที่หอนะคะ And so we will have a group photo, big group photo together. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. And next, we come to the launching of the book session. I would like to request Kritayanavaj on the stage to address the audience. Please.
Namaste. Ayubowan. Sawikap. Good afternoon. Venerable monks, His Excellency, Mr. Itthiphol, Minister of Culture of Thailand, Her Excellency, Mrs. Samantha, Ajarn, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Kingdom of Thailand, Excellencies, Associate Professor Dr. Charika, Director of the South Asian Studies Center, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and pleasure to launch the book Sri Lanka, or Sri Lanka Charika, Kavya, on occasion official occasion celebrate the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Thailand and Sri Lanka. The book is my second Lira that has been published so far. The first one is Lira Syndrome in China. Actually, I wrote many Lira in several countries, but not yet published. I would like to inform you that I am actually not a professional writer, but a retired employee of the government housing bank, of which I last served as the executive vice president. Since my retirement 6 years ago, I have enjoyed composing many poems and posted to several books as my hobby. Whenever I travel abroad or even in Thailand, I often compose a lyric or poetic travelogue or Charika Kavya in sentences, using a pen name Ajarn. I have normally written lyric in the form of Thai poetry. It is called Kavya or a lyrical verse in 11 syllables per line. Lyric Sri Lanka was composed daily during my 6-day trip to Sri Lanka nearly 3 years ago. These lyrics describe my journey from Bangkok to Ballobh, and then through several ancient capital cities of former kingdoms of Sri Lanka, namely Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, and Kenya. In total, there are 84 chapters in the Lira Sri Lanka, of which 66 chapters describe the actual traveling and interesting place of visiting along the journey. The rest describe the history of visit in Sri Lanka, including the story of the sought out of the Buddhist Pali Canon or Sankayana of Tibet. Apart from my main body of lyrics, there are also supplemental poems composed by Dr. Chulalongkorn and Mrs. Chulalongkorn. As well as 3 articles regarding Thailand and Sri Lanka Buddhist relationship. One of them by Dr. Ballobh, former ambassador of Thailand to Sri Lanka, and 2 other articles by Sri Lankan monks, namely Venerable Dr. Kritayanavaj and Venerable Kritayanavaj Sumano. Moreover, the books also contain 2 congratulatory messages from the President Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand, Her Excellency Mrs. Samantha Jaya Surya, and the Ambassador of Thailand to Sri Lanka, Her Excellency Mrs. Chulalongkorn. In addition, the books comprise 5 appreciations from my admiring friends. One of these writings certainly helped enhance the value of this book. I would like to thank them all heartily. Ladies and gentlemen, to publish a minimum of 5,000 copies of this book is not an easy task. And those who have researched the book in advance and thought and get the share the cost of printing and help lower the price per book. I particularly thanks Mr. Anil Srimanna, Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of Sri Lanka, and Chulalongkorn, the Production Director, and all the members of the editorial team, including former Ambassador Dr. Charika, for successfully making this book possible. I hope the book Sri Lanka Charika Kavya will further help foster closer religious cultural relations between Thailand and Sri Lanka, and help inspire more Thais to visit Sri Lanka and more Sri Lankans to visit Thailand. Thank you for taking part in publishing this book and for supporting this wonderful event. I hope you enjoy reading the books. Thanks again. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, we also have guests who are commentators for this book, and we would like to invite all of commentators on the stage to give a speech, maybe for a few minutes, two or 3 minutes. May I invite Dr. Chulalongkorn, and may I invite Mrs. Chulalongkorn and Mr. Pontep Sinarila, and the last person, His Excellency Dr. Charika on stage, please. One minute. Maybe I would like to request Mr. Ballobh to introduce his person.
Chulalongkorn, businessman of Ballobh, and that's it. He's now serving as the president of Bangkoktogether. Just a few minutes.
Have read many poems written by Ballobh in many topics, and for the Iran Sri Lanka, I review and impressed that there's many interesting places in Sri Lanka. So I joined to write a poem to introduce Ballobh and kind of summary and remark on the Sri Lanka to invite the people of Thailand to visit Sri Lanka. So I'm sure that Iran Sri Lanka will be a very useful travel guide for me. I never been to Sri Lanka yet. I love to. That's my inspiration, and to use as a travel guide for me and Thai people to visit Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Dr. Sibok. Actually, he is a businessman. He also composed poems after the civil also. Now, may I advise visit Kuratif with Chai, a retired government officer from the Department of CultureGovernment, who is the production director of the book.
Thank you, Ajarn. I have known Ajarn for many years. As a banker and speaker on real estate, I often read his poem in the book. When I learned that he was going to publish a book on Sri Lanka, I immediately decided to order 300 copies in order to send to the schools and borders of the country. Moreover, I intend to present these valuable books as New Year gifts. Later on, I have become one of the editorial team of this book. As I demand the highest quality of the book, Ajarn Ballobh would like me to be the production director of the book. During the editing process, the entire thought had come to my mind through meditation. He highly commended the book and admired Ajarn Ballobh in composing the poetic travelogue to Sri Lanka. Then I have also conveyed this message to the book. I really appreciate the effort of Ajarn Ballobh in composing Lila Sri Lanka. It may be the first one of its kind in Thailand. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to participate in publishing this excellent poetic book. I wish you all enjoy reading Lila Sri Lanka as myself. Thank you.
Thank you. I think without hard effort, you can produce best. So now I invite Charika, well-known international motivation speaker, trainer of business. Please give your idea of
It's been 30 years ago that I first met Ajarn Kritayanavaj. That was when me and Fraternal Real Estate launched Thai Real Estate Broker Association. We got both an honor and kindness from Ajarn Ballobh to serve as our board of advisor right from the beginning 30 years ago. Ajarn Ballobh is very knowledgeable in money matters, in real estate, because he was with Government Housing Bank. His last position before retirement from Government Housing Bank was Senior Executive Vice President. Moving encyclopedia is what I always refer to Ajarn Ballobh. As he is always learning by reading, by listening, by traveling. Ajarn Ballobh traveled extensively within Thailand and globally. I got to know that he got more than 10,000 books in his private library. Ajarn Ballobh devoted all his working life to sharing, through writing in Government Housing Bank journals and through lecturing. It's my honor to be invited to write forward for Ajarn Ballobh's first book, The Silk Route, เส้นทางสายไหม Once again, I got an honor not only to write forward for the present book, Sri Lanka, Charika, Kavya, Sri Lanka, also to be part of the editorial team. Everyone who can read Thai, I think we are all fortunate to have this book. Ajarn Ballobh write life while traveling, while on the plane, while visiting different historical monuments. Just by going through this book, it's as if we have already visited the pearl of the Indian Ocean. Real in-depth book, from history, pagodas, historical monuments up to the birth of dynasties and 2,000 years Buddhism. Let's travel together first by reading this book, and perhaps in the not so distant future, a real visit to Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much, Ajarn. Now, last but not least, I would like to invite His Excellency Ambassador Charika for patient as diplomat.
Thank you, Venerables, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here among you all in the launch of this book as an ex-diplomat, always a diplomat anyway. I find this book diplomacy at work. Why I said that? Because diplomacy is the art that trying to make the other side or the other ones do what you would like them to do by feeling that it is in their best interest. I'm trying to say that because it is all in the good interest of everyone around here. And I'm sure the readers also that this book will bring some good intentions, good interest towards the good diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and Thailand. And that is more than an ambassador can ask for. So with that, I think I will leave you all to read it and enjoy it more. Thank you.
I use different pen name than Sinhaja. My pen name is Alien on page 164 to 167. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Itthiphol. In his pen name, Alien, in the books. Chinese. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ballobh, and our distinguished guests. And for the next session, we have launching of Sri Lanka Buddhist microsite in Thai language. And let us prepare the stage for a few minutes. And in this regard, I would like to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Samantha K. Jayasuriya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Thailand, and also Mr. Vipul Kamanto, Vice President of Thai Travel Agents Association, and last, Mr. Prisha Jampi, committee members of Travel Agents Association in Thailand. As you can see that we have a wonderful website, and so we're going to launch the Buddhist microsite. Sir and Madam, if you're ready, we will count together 3, 2, 1, and we will enter to the website. Thank you very much. I think if you have time, maybe you can explore the website srilanka.travel. And so right now it's already translated into Thai. It will be easy for Thai people to communicate or maybe explore about the Buddhist microsite in Sri Lanka. For the next session, we now have a keynote speech on Thai-Sri Lanka relations. And it is our honor to have former ambassador of Thailand to Sri Lanka as our keynote speaker today. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming His Excellency Mr. Phondet Orashai.
Reverend Sir, His Excellency KhunplomeMinister of Thailand, Excellency Samanta Jayasuriya, Ambassador of Sri Lanka, Thailand, Associate Professor Dr. Director of the Institute of Asian Studies of the Chulalongkorn University, Ballobh, Kritayanavaj, Water of Sri Lanka, Charika, Kavya, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I will give and bringing the traditional socio-cultural lineage between the two countries is always a pleasant moment for me personally. It naturally made me back to the year 2012, the day that I received the royal command for His Majesty, the late King Rama IX, to represent Thailand as his envoy to Sri Lanka and Maldives. So it is indeed an honor and a great privilege to be invited to deliver a keynote speech at this solemn event, as the two countries celebrate 65 years of establishment of formal diplomatic relations. Of course, the root of our relations run much deeper into 800 years. I will get it in a bit more detail shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, my interpretation of Sri Lanka and Thai relation can be easily done as two nations, one family. There are very strong commonality between our two nations, primarily associated with Theravada, Buddhist traditions and teaching. Then the individual strength and speciality that make up as two unique nations in the sphere of international relations and affairs. Add dynamism to this tradition relation. In whichever way we name it, we have been there for others, demonstrating Kalitayanavaj bondage. As a person who has experience in multi-fact relationship from within and outside, I only could imagine that it could flourish further in the year to come as well. The relationship between Sri Lanka and Thailand and their people are built on the timeless philosophy and value of Theravada Buddhism for over 8 centuries, well before the establishment of the formal diplomatic relation on 20th November 1955. The message of Buddhism arrived in the 3rd century before the Common Era from India. When Ajarn Mahinda, the son of Emperor Ashoka, visited Sri Lanka, and the Venerable Sun and Putta Theros reached to Suvarnabhumi, which is regarded as the advent of Buddhism. In Sri Lanka, the Mahavihara and Abhayagiri monastic tradition contribute to a vivid social-cultural fabric, influencing the entire way of life of people. The art, sculpture, and Buddhism architecture, such as massive stupa and monastery. Parallel to that, here in the land of Suvarnabhumi, the Theravada as well as Siddhicharana kingdom influenced the establishment of the Theravada and Mahayana tradition respectively in Thailand. However, it was during the rule of King Parakraman, the great King of Kritayanavaj, that the Theravada Buddhism in Thailand was introduced, indoctrinated through exchange of monks. As a result, the Lanka was established in Nakhon Si Thammarat during the reign of King Si Itthiphol of the Thai kingdom. Invited by Lanka Bangsa monks to his kingdom, and the chapter began to flourish, and several sacred relics. Sri Lankan art, cultural as well as Kritayanavaj and other Buddhist scripts influenced the Buddhist tradition in Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, the 16th century, when Sri Lanka was under the colonial occupations, the highest ordination of the monastic order of Upasamantaka was disrupted. This was due to the visit of the venerable Bali Thera of Ayutthaya and Dhammaram temple that the monastic order was reinstated in Sri Lanka in the year of 1753. To this day, the monks belong to this village are called Siam Wangsa. It was the relationship between King Ballobh of Ayutthaya and King Kritayanavaj Rajasingha of Ceylon, and their patronage that led to this historical event of Upasamantaka back to the country, also demonstrating the Kalitayanavaj relations. Many significant exchange of friendship have occurred between the two countries. For example, Thailand has received sampling from the famous sacred Tayasi Mahachulalong tree from Ajarn, Sri Lanka. Also, in the year of 2019, a boat sampling gift was planned by Prime Minister Charika in Ayutthaya to invoke merit of the late His Majesty King Rama IX and also the place of the reign of His Majesty King Rama X. What is more, the gift bronze image in meditation, the well-known Buddha Sikhi, is believed to be a gift from Sinhalese king to a Sukhothai king in 13th century. In my career as a diplomat, I consider it a distinct privilege to have the opportunity to mark the 260th anniversary of the establishment of the Siam Gada in Sri Lanka. Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachulalong and the then Prime Minister of Thailand visited Sri Lanka to participate in the ceremony. The visit to Sri Lanka by Thai royal also have a vivid history. The earliest recorded visit was by His Majesty King Chulalongkorn Rama V in 1897 on his way to Europe. He visited Gaul, and on his second visit, he had a stopover in Ballobh in 1970. It was during his reign that the first complete Kritayanavaj in Bali was using Thai character was published and printed. To review the propagation of this literature, a printing machine was shipped to Sri Lanka by King Mongkut or King Rama IV, where the first Buddhist newspaper in Sri Lanka was printed, supporting the Buddhist revival in 1886. Brit Isada Chumsai took role in Sri Lanka and supported setting a Buddhist academic in Sri Lanka in 1939. His Majesty King Ananda Mahidol visited Sri Lanka, and this tradition was followed by His Majesty King KhunplomeMinister in 1950, just before his royal wedding and formal coronation ceremony. In 1993, His Majesty King Mahachulalong visited Sri Lanka as the Crown Prince, enhancing the historic link and setting up a new phase of diplomatic relations. Ladies and gentlemen, description of place in form of travelogue is a unique way of blending personal memories, experience with literature. The Sri Lanka Charika Kavya, introduced today, in my personal opinion, infused modernity with the richness of the tradition. The place of interest, mostly the Buddhist trail in Sri Lanka, that was being portrayed in this book by KhunplomeMinister and his team, and teach a modern day traveler to see them unto themselves. As a person who I had the opportunity to visit most of these historic places and see the natural beauty undoubtedly Sri Lankan was visiting. However, the most interesting, and to me, the whole expedition to Ajarn has taken this to present this as the poetic narrative jet against to bring to light century old tradition Thai Nigra poem. It shows us how capable KhuntplomeMinister has been in blending the age-old literature to make it an interesting and memorable work. I observed that a similar poetic literature exists in Sri Lanka, the Chandisan Kavya, or a descriptive poetic narrative of the journey of the messenger, often a bird. I believe some of them is going to be presented to us in this program. I'm also glad that the organizer, the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Thailand and the Asian Institute of Chulalongkorn University also invite me to share several of my jig art or curvy scribble art inspired by my experience in Sri Lanka and also to be displayed in this event to celebrate our commonality and diversity. It is obvious that the common trait and silver trait that keep us bind is the teaching of Lord Buddha, which proved to be timeless and relevant, even to the complex world that we live in. We can take inspiration to work together and to bounce back as much stronger nation. Be it in trade, services, policy to security matters, or people-to-people contact. We can look at things that we can agree based on what we consider as mutual. Build common understanding to address the differences, if any, to solve them more amicably. I think we have this with much relationships been built over the years between Sri Lanka and Thailand. I am pleased to have contributed to it, even in a small way, during my tenure in Ballobh as ambassador of Thailand. Thank you very much for inviting me to have opportunity to share this of this non-particular. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. KhunplomeMinister, for the information and sharing experience about as a diplomat on Thailand and Sri Lanka relations. And it is remarkable when His Excellency mentioned that we are two nations but one family. It is very impressive. And next, we also have a wonderful session. This session called Recital of Itthiphol in Thai and Santesha Kavya in Sinhala. First of all, I would like to invite Kritayanavaj, member of the editorial board, to recite the Thai Nira poem. And she mentioned that she will sing in 2 times. The first round is in general Kavyani, and then the second round she will sing in a special way. Maybe could you please invite her to on the stage? Welcoming her on the stage, please.
I'm going to present the Suvarnamali JD as a cover of the book in Kavya 11 วันนี้เรามาชมมหาบรมองค์เจดีย์กว้างสูง100 เมตรมีใหญ่ที่สุดในนักราเจดีย์ทรงฟองน้ำแสนสวยงามขาวโสภาบัลลังก์ตั้งต่อมามียอดแหลมเป็นปล่องสูงกำแพงองค์เจดีย์มากมายมี จูงให้ชมตาม300 กว่าเจดีย์สร้างมานานแต่โบราณตำนานว่า2,000 ปีผ่านมาศิลป์งามตาน่าชื่นชมเรามองเจดีย์นี้ต้นแบบที่นครปฐมกำแพงพระชาสมพระให้วัดช้างสุโขทัยเจดีย์สร้างสำเร็จสมบูรณ์เสร็จในสมัยพุทธกาลมินีอภัยราชทรงชัยรบทมินรบบนยอดเจดีย์นั้นของสำคัญบรรจุสิ้นผู้คนทุกแดนดินนพพระธาตุพุทธองค์ยานี11อีกการอ่านอีกชนิดหนึ่งนะคะ วันนี้เรามาชมมหาบรมองค์เจดีย์กว้างสูง100 เมตรมีใหญ่ที่สุดในนคราเจดีย์ทรงฟองน้ำแสนสวยงามขาวโสภาบัลลังก์ตั้งต่อมามียอดแหลมเป็นปล้องสูงกำแพงองค์เจดีย์มากมายมีช้างเป็นฝูงล้อมรอบราวชักจูงให้ชมตาม300 กว่าเจดีย์สร้างมานานแต่โบราณตำนานว่า 2,000 ปีผ่านมาศิลป์งามตาน่าชื่นชมเรามองเจดีย์นี้ต้นแบบที่นครปฐมกำแพงพระชาสมท้ายวัดช้างสุโขทัยเจดีย์สร้างสำเร็จสมบูรณ์เสร็จในสมัยพุทธกาลมินีอภัยราชทรงชัยรบทมินบนยอดเจดีย์นั้นของสำคัญบรรจุสิ้นผู้คนทุกแดนดินนพพระธาตุพระพุทธองค์ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, Kritayanavaj. And next we also have a recital of traditional Kavya in Sinhala. May I request Mrs. Kritayanavaj, Master Student of International Program of Hazardous Substance and Environment Management of the Chulalongkorn University. And after the poem, we also have video of Sri Lanka Kavya. It will be displayed on the screen around 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Charika, the most relevant Mahasangha, excellencies, honorable speakers, all the distinguished guests. First, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Kavya, Master Student at International Program of Hazardous Substance and Environment Management, Chulalongkorn University. And today I'm going to recite 3 poems from Saladini Sandesha Kavya, written by Venerable Thudagumme Sri Rahulathera, who was a Buddhist monk and an eminent scholar, lived in the 15th century during the Kotte era of Sri Lanka. Sangaraja Thudagumme Sri Rahulathera was not only a distinguished author, but also a veteran astrologer and a proficient Ayurvedic physician. Further, he was proficient in 6 languages, and hence he was known as Shat Bhasha Parameshwara, which means master of 6 languages. Other than Saladini Sandesha Kavya, he is the author of other kavyas as Gira Sandesha, Paravi Sandesha, Kavya Shekhara, and so on. Saladini Sandesha Kavya was written in the year 1447. As you got to know, and you may also already know, Sandesha Kavyas are poems written as messengers sent mainly via birds. So here the messenger is the bird Salalinia, and the message is written in the form of a request to God Vibhishana of Kalaniya to bless the youngest daughter of the king Parakuba, the sixth with the sun, and the Kavya consists of 111 poems, and almost all of them describe the specific places and the beauty of the route that the bird fly over and observe on the way to deliver the message. The poem I'm reciting now describes the blessed view of the temple of sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha. Lovehita sutu pehasand raseu sati Dimenomada siri sangamo sepani sedi Nada munida dam kanda bahasaman bandi Watu dalada hini temahal pahayalandi. The next poem I'm reciting now describes the beauty of the Kalaniya city that the bird enters. Saraniya mini paminiya KhunplomeMinister Bangkoktogether Dadaginiya Viman Noel Peraniya Vanaramaniya withInstitute Salarinia Vadu Kalaniya Puravarata. And the final poem I'm reciting now describes the beautiful beat of dancing girls in the shrine. Lankal pululukula bandamini meulla Samagaran salabarauti meulla Vayana padata tabamin pada kamala Rangana landu balarusi siala. So I used 3 tones as you noticed in reciting. And I'm not a professional reciter, but I hope you enjoy. And thank you very much for listening. Have a nice evening.
Pehnat madara parsatu mal patra Kereput wantina rendi muni siri Saki sandapini samanulakira Negena hira
Thank you very much. I think this is quite a special session for us today. And ladies and gentlemen, time flies, and to complete a wonderful celebration of the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Thailand and Sri Lanka, I would like to request Mr. Atin Silimana, Commercial Chancellor from Embassy of Sri Lanka, on the stage for word of thanks.
References, His Excellency, Itthiphol, Minister of Ajarn of Thailand, Excellencies, distinguished guests. At the end of remarkable event that marks another milestone of the Thai-Sri Lanka relation, I wish to thank all the distinguished guests for their presence to grace this occasion. Your participation is a great honor for us at this commemoration day of 65th anniversary of Thailand-Sri Lanka diplomatic relations. I respectfully express deep appreciation and gratitude to the venerable heroes present here today to offer your blessing to this event. On behalf of the government of Sri Lanka, I wish to convey our deepest appreciation and gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Itthiphol, Minister of Culture, for gracing this occasion to chief guest. It is a great honor to us. I also would like to thank the Excellencies, the ambassadors representing the South Asian and East Asian countries and their representatives for their valuable time and expressing solidarity among the countries in this region. On behalf of the Embassy of Sri Lanka, I especially thank His Excellency Dr. Ballobh, former Thai ambassador to Sri Lanka, who is today keynote speaker for his immense operation, which is always a great motivation to all of us to further strengthen Thai-Sri Lanka relations. He has also been very kind to offer some of his new art creation for the mini exhibition, which is on display at the OA area today. On behalf of the Embassy of Sri Lanka, I wish to thank the administration of Chulalongkorn University and the Asian Institute headed Associate Professor Dr. Charika for hosting the event, and to Associate Professor Dr. Kritayanavaj, Director of the South Asian Studies Center, and his team for the excellent cooperation towards the success of this event. Representatives of the President of Thai Travel Agent Association and the Association of Thai Travel Agents are here with us today. The members of these organizations are the main facilitators for visiting Sri Lanka, whose support will be invaluable, particularly in the post-COVID era. I would like to thank KhumplomeMinister for representing the President of Thai Travel Agents, and Ajarn, representing Association of Thai Travel Agents, for joining with us to learn the Buddhist mindset in Thai language. The Thai Class poem book, Sri Lanka Charika Kavya, authored by Mr. Kritayanavaj, will undoubtedly be an inspiration of Thai friends to visit and learn about Sri Lanka in the future. I only recall how I met Mr. Ballobh around 3 years ago when he introduced his book to me, following which he started editing of the book. I am honored to have suggested the name Sri Lanka Charika Kavya for this book, and the opportunity I had in helping to make it more familiar to Thai language. As you may have noticed from today's event, a number of intellectuals have contributed immensely to edit this book and to bring it to be known today. Initially, the plan was to print only 500 copies, but today 5,000 copies have been printed, and almost all of them have received confirmed orders from across Thailand. Even without publicity. I wish to thank Mr. Kritayanavaj
would like to invite on behalf of the Embassy of Sri Lanka to enjoy the Sri Lanka Precision and COA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajarn Surimana, Consular from Embassy of Sri Lanka, for word of thanks. Your Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. So right now we come to the last session, and we will end the program with Simultan reception at the Center Hall, and I would like to request ambassadors to the reception room. And I hope that for tonight you will enjoy the taste of Sri Lanka before going home, and you may have some time to explore the ultimate exhibition by His Excellency Mr. Ballobh Barashat. The name of exhibition is Itthiphol, if it's correct. And you can use this time to interact or have a conversation with our honorable guests as well. And today, I think that we have a wonderful time together, which has a result in future possibility in fruitful collaboration of our two countries. Till we meet again for tonight, สวัสดีค่ะ อายุบวร